Welcome to Vice. Oh, what Vices and Terrible? Oh my gosh, where did that come from?
Classic
Oh
callback.
my-
Classic.
Welcome to Devil's Apprentice. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind here in the pain lab. That's obviously been on my mind a little bit too much lately and stuff. Doing a horror podcast again. Anyhow, that's another story for another time. What we have here today is we have Super Fast Tortoise joining us for a deck tech. And who are we going to be talking about today?
We are talking about, I know you're going to pop it up on screen, but Jodah, Archmage Eternal. Yeah.
All right.
If I can get it
That is about the most misleading bunch of horse pucky that there is. Because that is not a human wizard deck, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it is a Jurassic Park deck.
Yes, it is.
That's why I'm wearing my garb. You know, I got the hat, I got the world shirt.
Nice. Yeah. And I see you're up there. You see you there, Jurassic Park, and you see you got all the stuff.
Oh yeah, like in this red box here is every single Jurassic Park movie.
Nice. Now I'm going to say right from the beginning, I'm going to give you a harder time about your deck than anybody else has been on the show because I have faced this deck. And you are responsible for making me put cards in my deck specifically to deal with you. Okay, so
bring it.
I'm happy to have you on talking about it. I'm not sure this is something we should be sharing with the rest of the world. But anyhow, enough about that. Let's talk about what you got in the deck.
Ooh, well, there's a lot going on in the deck. Well, we got the plethora of dinosaurs in the deck. And everybody knows the dinosaurs. If they're running Patlaza, they got the dinosaurs. If they're running other dinosaur decks, they got the dinosaurs. This deck functions around the ecosystem of dinosaurs. Like, there's dinosaurs, you want to play dinosaurs. The win condition is smashing with dinosaurs, but through the themes of the story of Jurassic Park.
Nice. Okay, it's a theme deck. I like it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, the theme is in there. Like, the basic land base, they were donated to me. The basic land base are all oil slicks, and that's like $100 of the deck.
Nice. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on here, and there's a lot to break down. First of all, let me describe the deck to you, right?
Okay.
So Jodah is all about getting that value out of paying Wooburg.
Right.
And in the deck, I do run a ley line of mutation and a Fist of Suns to get that extra Wooburgness out there.
Okay.
So getting that value out of the mana cost, like you can have like 10, 12 mana cost and pay only 5 mana for it. And that's what this deck is built for. This is a 5-color commander deck. And just to secure that it is Jurassic Park, it's in these particular sleeves.
Nice.
Right? So let me break down to you the most important part of this deck.
Okay.
Right? The most important part of this deck is the land base. Oh my lord. Thanks to trades, fan mail, people sending in cards to build the deck. This expensive land base has cost me less than $20 in cash.
Nice.
Right? But let me walk you through the land base because it's here. We got 2 of each basic land, right? We got 2 of each basic lands. They're oil slicks. They're in the deck because dinosaurs make oil.
Sure.
Right? We got 5 fetch lands, one of them being Fabled Passage, the rest being regular fetch lands, so they can search for shock lands and triumphs. There's 11 tri-colored lands in the deck. 11.
Wow.
Right. 3 of which are triumphs.
Okay.
And the rest are the basic ones from Khans of Tarkir and such. Then we got 5 shock lands in the deck, just edited, put in the deck today. It was the 5th one.
Oh, nice.
But that's to help with the speed of the deck.
All right.
We got 2 check lands in the deck, lands that come to play, and they check to see if you have a mountain or something.
Right.
So they come to play and tap. We got 2 opponent matters lands, the ones that say if you have 2 or more opponents that come to play and tap. We got 2 of those. We got 1 reliquary tower for some of the shenanigans in the deck. Usually when I play the deck out, I don't have to worry about going over 7.
No.
We got one command tower. The basic land design of this set is so the land itself fixes itself with a 70% chance of getting all 5 colors you need to cast Jodah and start banging out big old spells.
So it seems like so many of those cards are tapped lands or come in tapped, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know you said you added shocks and stuff, but was it taps before this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just added 1 shock to the deck. I took out, believe it or not, I took out Temple of the False God for a shock land. And that's because I hardly ever need Temple, but I need the color fixing.
Sure.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So let me ask you, what is the best story this deck has produced?
So I have a list of 10 cards here. And one of the 10 cards in this list is a card called Congregation at Dawn.
Oh, yes.
So if you never heard of Congregation at Dawn, you get to tutor your library for 3 creature cards, shuffle your library, put those cards on top. Well, there is a particular card in the deck, and I think every dinosaur deck runs it, and that is Etali Primal Conqueror, right?
Right.
He enters the battlefield, right? He enters the battlefield, you get to play the top card of everybody's library. He's a 7/7 with trample.
Yes.
The 7/7 trample is important in this story because I had the mana to cast this and respond with a Congregation at Dawn. So I got to fix the top card of my deck. What did I do? I got 2 of the most crooked cards in the deck. And by crooked, I mean the deck really crooks on this. Is my clone creatures.
Oh, my gosh.
Right? So on top of that, I had a big old dinosaur in the background. But what happened is because Etali hits the ground before he triggers to get everybody's spells. So when I got the 2 clone creatures and the big old creature in the background, he was on the board. I got to cast a cloned Etali, got to play the other cloned Etali, then got the big dinosaur in the background. So not only am I getting other people's stuff off the top of their deck, I was getting 3 7/7s for the price of 1.
Oh my gosh. We just talked about those 2 cards with Mild Mannered Mage. He had his Master Mesmerist deck, and those were the 2 clones that he used and stuff. Mm-hmm. So the fact that, and again, cloning, right? We're staying on theme here.
Oh,
absolutely, yeah. For sure. So the best story that this has produced for me with that deck is you made me go get a Shadow Spear. Like, I did not have one. I went and got a Shadow Spear just because of you playing this deck. It was for my Amanatu, which doesn't rely on equipped creatures and so on, but I had to get the Shadow Spear just to combat this deck because I've seen what it can do, and I've experienced it multiple times.
Oh, yes.
Anyhow,
this deck is one of those decks that just pull out these slow lands that just mana fix everything. And when I get 5 lands on the battlefield, chaos breaks loose.
Absolutely. So I asked Seth this. I'm going to ask you the same thing too. Do you feel like there has been a change, not necessarily with just the bracket, with the new changes to the bracket system, but do you feel like people are trying to close out the game by 6, even if it's in a casual?
So what I think has happened is when they redid the bracket system and they listed have a winning condition by turn 6, I think that kind of charged the player base out there to be like, well, I must be doing it wrong if I'm not winning by turn 6. And my brain's like, what are we? Competitive Magic right now?
Exactly. Well, anyhow, I don't want to detract from it. Pick another card. What's another card that people maybe underrate or don't appreciate in that deck?
Oh, okay. A card that people underrate. Whew, I got a non-dinosaur creature. It fits the theme of the story of Jurassic Park because most of the story comes from the books that theme this around. So, in the story and in the movie, a hurricane hits the island and breaks things loose.
For sure.
Well, in this deck, the hurricane is Maelstrom Wanderer.
Oh, my gosh. That again seems on theme for an elemental. Yes.
Right? He
Nice.
gives it creatures haste because if you get some dinosaurs, you want them to break loose and go crazy. And he cascades twice.
Nice.
Well, let me tell you a little fact. Now, if you guys don't know this, if you don't know this who's watching, if you use the Uber cost to cast Maelstrom Wanderer, even though you pay 5 mana, you still cascade for the mana cost of 7.
Oh, still, it's the CMC, or what do they call it these days?
Yeah.
But anyhow, okay, so it's based on the pips on top of the card, even if you didn't actually physically pay those. So you can cheat it in and get a bigger bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Nice.
So good. And so, Maelstrom Wanderer, like flavorfully, I love it when he enters the battlefield as like one of my first creatures, but it doesn't always happen. I always like getting 7 cost things early game as possible.
Sure.
So that's solid. Maelstrom Wanderer is probably like a core 2 commander nowadays, you know, what people play with them. But in this deck, you got so many options in a 5-color deck that does so many things.
Nice.
Because one of the favorite things I love getting out of here, out of this, is a Chroma's Memorial. You know, give your creatures all the keyword soup plus protection from red and black. It's pretty solid.
So I think you've probably already answered this, but I was going to ask you what makes this deck fun for you, not just strong in game terms, but what makes it fun for you to play. What's that?
So this deck on theme likes to play from the graveyard, and a lot of people don't realize that. Except for those who might have witnessed the chaos. One card that's a finisher in this deck, right? A card that's a finisher in this deck is Eerie Ultimatum.
Nice.
Right? Eerie Ultimatum says return any number of permanent cards with different names from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Wow.
Like when I put this on Architect, it doesn't call it a finisher, but in this deck, you hold on to it until you can finish it with it.
Nice.
And this deck has gotten really good because there's a secret mill strategy in the deck. It's small. It's about self-milling, but the way I do it doesn't say, hey, this guy's milling to go out crazy, right? I got a card on my top 10 cards of the deck that I think really push the theme of it. And this little doohickey is called Whispering Madness.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, since this Whispering Madness goes crazy because we have 7 haste enablers in the deck, right?
Wow.
So if your creatures have haste and you cast this, so you can even cast this on Etali if you get it, right? And each player discards their hand and draws a fresh grip of cards equal to the largest amount of cards discarded this way. Nice. Then it has this ability where it's called Cipher, and basically you exile this and attach it to a creature as a deals combat damage ability.
Right.
And so if you have a creature with trample, as long as you do 1 point of damage with it, it triggers to cast this again for free.
Oh my gosh. So that is one of my favorite mechanics. I think that's been, I'm going to say, lost to time. I don't think enough people maybe even were playing the game when that mechanic first came out. But it definitely, I think, is one of those that's underrated. Another thing that I have to say from personal experience is I know how fast you recover from board wipes with this deck, which is counterintuitive when you look at it when you maybe look at it the first time. And this is available on Architect. Do you care if I share that with folks?
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right. So you'll see. And it may not, like I said, it looks counterintuitive. It doesn't look like it would have so much graveyard recursion and stuff. But the recursion that it has in there absolutely is a big payoff for sure. Yeah.
And one card I do need for the deck to replace a removal spell with is Generous Gift for flavor. Because in the story, John Hammond, when he was like promoting the island, making fundraising for the island, he'd carry a cage around with a small cloned elephant to show people the power of cloning.
Oh my God. I love it. That's great. That's great. So let me ask, if this deck had a time, so I almost want to say you can't use a movie title, but if it had a movie title, if it had a tagline for the deck, what would it be?
Jurassic Park, Chaos Theory, the Magic deck.
It absolutely is a chaos theory because there is so much that you don't expect coming from it as far as the Magic perspective, for sure.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
What other cards do you have in there you'd like to talk about?
Oh, so one of my favorite cards, with Jodah especially, that doesn't see play a lot in a lot of decks, but in the flavor of the deck, it works well. It's a little chaotic. It's a little reanimating. Is breaking and entering.
Breaking and entering. Nice.
So breaking and entering is good because you got both entering, where you can reanimate a creature card from any graveyard, put it on the battlefield with haste.
Right.
You have breaking for 2 mana, which target player mills the top 8 cards of their library. Usually I like to choose myself, but sometimes I choose other people.
Right.
But it has this little ability down here called Fuse, where you can cast both sides of the spell if you pay the whole mana cost. Well, if you fuse it for the spell, you can pay the Wooburg of Jodah for the entire spell.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So moving away a little bit from the deck for just one moment, what do you think? Is there anything? Give me your hot take on what people maybe misunderstand about Commander. Maybe your Commander in particular, or just the game in general.
Well, okay, so my hot take about Commander is a lot of people jumping into the game do not understand the value of card drawing, mana fixing, and removal spells, right? Card drawing, super important. It's not about just having card advantage, but it's about your hand never going flat. You want ways to draw cards. This is why white, the mana color, suffered so much in the beginning of Commander. Now they've kind of fixed it a little.
Yeah.
Red got better with drawing cards and got more synergies with the little rummage ability where you discard a card. Right. Drawing's important. Mana fixing's important. Like if you can't afford the lands for your deck, get the spells, right? And focus your deck around this. There's a thing called the scope I came up with a long time ago. There's a video from a long time ago. It's very boring now, like to watch, but I was new.
Maybe it's time to re-record it.
Right. The scope focused on card draw, mana fixing, removal, and board wipes. Because board wipes are, in a way, game changers. And what they do is they change the game to start over to give you a fresh start.
Right.
If you can't handle what's going on the board, you need to clear the board. Removal is important because you need a lot of removal. In fact, one removal that's important in this deck is Vindicate. Right? Vindicates is a simple sorcery that destroys target permanent. And that's important because there are times you need to destroy a land.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I realize that land destruction is generally frowned upon, but that really goes for mostly basic lands.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many utility lands these days, you have to have some way to actually deal with them. I personally am not averse to land destruction, even if it's mine, and even if you did that. I did tell you to go ahead and do it. But yeah, absolutely. With so many utility lands these days, you absolutely have to have something. Mm-hmm. And even if it's a sorcery, even if you had to do it on your turn, it can help politically even turn the tide at the table for sure.
Right. That's another reason why I need Generous Gift too in the deck. Is not only is it on theme with the 3/3 elephant token going on, but like it can also target a land. Like a lot of people who play Commander, I've noticed they don't think about, or they just choose not to. But both Beast Within and Generous Gift can target lands.
Yeah.
And sometimes when someone plays a Glacial Chasm or a Dark Depths, that land is very important to destroy.
For sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. So bringing it back around, what other cards are in this deck that you'd like to talk about?
Okay. One card I just upgraded the deck with. I put it in the deck for flavor because one of the things I like doing in Jurassic Park is playing in the graveyard. And what do you need to do is get cards in the graveyard. Well, I did a trade with a friend, and I know the card's not expensive by any means, but he got me this card because it fits the theme perfectly. The Singularity Rupture. Yeah. You destroy all creatures, then any number of target players each mill half their library rounded down. And you can guarantee if I got the cards in hand, I'm choosing myself, and sometimes myself only.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Fair
it costs 6 mana, but 5 mana if you have Jodah, you know?
Very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice.
But wait.
There's more.
There's one card I want to highlight here because a lot of people who run Gruul do not run this card.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 mana tutors are pretty insane in Commander. All right. Now, the card I'm about to show you is from a Ravnica block. I think Gatecrash or something like that block.
Right.
It's a tutor. It's an odd tutor. It's a gamble kind of tutor, but you don't lose out on cards. But it is Signal the Clans.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, Signal the Clans for 2 mana. You get to search your library for 3 creature cards, and you're gonna pick your best cards for the situation or the best creatures all in general.
Sure.
And you, out of those 3 cards, you randomly choose one of those cards. So I like shuffle them, let opponent choose one. And whatever card that they choose go to my hand, and the other 2 get shuffled back in my library.
Okay, so you're not really on anything.
No.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Fair
enough. So tutors are good there. I got reluctant and got a magic pack one day, and I pulled a vampiric tutor or something like that. I can't remember the name of it right now. Mm-hmm. I got that tutor in the deck, but that's not as fun as Signal of the Clans, because Signal of the Clans like choose your poison, you know.
Right.
One card in this deck that I think people who play Simic should run more Simic creatures decks, not Simic spells matters, like instant sorceries, but more things about big creature spells. But I run the deck for chaotic structuring is Unexpected Results.
Unexpected Results. I know that's kind of a pet card of yours, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Well, for the fact that it can either wrap me one and come back to my hand or give me a free spell or a 4 mana spell that's like 7. It's pretty great.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. And what is it? Oh, yeah. So one card I want to highlight that seems to be a savior in this deck. One thing for deck building advice, if you're building a deck, being able to play stuff from your graveyard with flashback is amazing. So it doesn't have to be this particular card, but if there are ways to have cards playable from your graveyard, that's important. And one of those cards in my deck is Mystic Retrieval.
Ah, yes.
So Mystic Retrieval has saved me so many times in games. People forget this is in my graveyard. They forget that I casted it once before. There's times I casted Ruinous Ultimatum twice with this card.
Man.
There's times I've Eerie Ultimated because this was in my graveyard and got it back. Like you ask, you kind of ask, how do you build up so fast? Well, it's because I get to replay things pretty well. And this is just one of the 99.
Right.
But that helps the deck a lot with being able to get into the deck. One little card I think they need to reprint more often because it's about top deck control more than it is draw. They reprinted it in one deck, which I was surprised, which was a Nominatu Enchantment Sim deck.
Right.
Was Diabolic Visions. Very cheap card. Cost
yeah.
blue and black. You look at the top 5 cards of your library, put one in your hand, and the rest on top, back in any order. This card,
you're not out. That's awesome.
Yeah, this card helps me set up so many cascade triggers and stuff like that.
Nice. Well, you seem to have plenty of redundancy built into the deck also. How long have you been working on it?
Oh, about 8 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And you just the process of refining it and whittling it down. But this was something you built yourself?
Yes. When they came out dinosaurs, I didn't want the Naya deck.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They came out dinosaurs. When they first came out dinosaurs, I got excited and I wanted to build a Jurassic Park deck, but it had to be 5 colors, and I had to fit a Jurassic Park theme. Working from the graveyard, concocting cool plays, cloning, and this deck has seen a lot of progression since I've had it. Like trades, upgrades. Like I said, some fans of the channel sent me cards to upgrade this deck. Like all the Tri-lands in this deck are all from people sending me mail.
Nice.
Right.
And I've mentioned, well, I clearly know who you are, but you've mentioned a couple times fans of the channel. What is your channel?
So I have a YouTube channel for those who don't know. It's not Jurassic Park related, I promise. It should be.
It should be. It could be.
But we do a Magic the Gathering channel with a morning show on Super Fast Tortoise.
Yes.
Link will be in the description below. We do a morning show every morning at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, which is what? 11 to 9 Eastern, not 9 Eastern, but 9 Mountain Time.
Yeah.
9 Mountain Time.
Yeah.
About 12 Eastern and 8 Pacific. 11 a.m. Central Standard Time is the easiest way to put that. Yes. But still, we do a morning show. We try to wake you up in the morning, have a good time. Thursdays and Fridays, we do Commander content. We play Commander games. I always try to get this guy to come in and get his butt beat by some deck that I built.
It's happened occasionally, and I've also pulled out the surprise win here or there. So
that's right.
It's always a good time. It's always great hanging with friends. That's the best part about it.
Right.
Win or lose, it's hanging out with a group of folks and playing casually but competitively, for sure.
Right. So the cool thing about the channel games that we have on Thursdays and Fridays. And I might expand that a little later to do another day of the week. I don't know yet. But Thursday, Friday is guaranteed Commander Night. I always do a call out in Discord if you want to play. So if you're a subscriber to the channel, you're part of our Discord, you get a chance to play a deck like this Jurassic Park deck. I have plenty of bracket 3 decks, a couple bracket 2s, and a couple bracket 4s.
Nice.
Yeah.
Before we close off, because we're approaching our time here, but what other cards, did you have any other cards specifically that you wanted to call out? I didn't want to cut you off and we got sidetracked a little bit, but anything else you wanted to talk about?
Yes, there's one card I want to talk about because I think it should see more play. It's probably not as fast as it used to be, but it should see more play. It is on a reserve list, cost about 50 cents last time I checked, right? 50 cents.
Yep.
It is Hymn of Rebirth.
Yeah, nice.
So Hymn of Rebirth costs 5 mana, 3 generic and green and white, and you can reanimate a creature from anybody's graveyard. Anybody's graveyard. It could be yours, it could be your friends, it could be your mother's. Who knows where you're getting that from?
I have to point it out. What colors is that?
Green, white.
Green, white, reanimate. Who knew it existed, right?
Right.
Awesome.
And it's a cheap card. It's awesome. And it's one of my pet cards of the deck. Like I'm really dreading the day when they make a card I need to replace it with. I really like playing the card because I like when you look through the deck list, you'll see a lot of the reanimation of the deck. Most of it hits everybody's graveyard, not just mine, so I can pull from other people's on the whim and not just worry about
Yeah, we're not worried about just having the answer in your own graveyard and stuff. If somebody else is playing something atrocious or off the cuff or whatever, you can be able to deal with their stuff too, which I think is awesome.
For sure.
Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
Yes. If you got about $1,000 in your pocket and you want to build this deck, because this deck is like $800 something plus tax, right? This deck is worth it. Honestly, make it your own. Have fun. And by make it your own, do what you do. Have fun with it. Make it the way you want to. If you want more tutors in there, if you want more ramp in there, do it. This deck has been literally brewed up from cards given to me. Like, there's very few cards in there I spent money on.
I'm sure it didn't start off that way. It was, that's something I do think that is important that people lose sight of is you don't have to start off out the gate just with a banger right from the beginning and stuff. You can start a deck, craft it, sculpt it. I do feel like the decks give us a chance to showcase our personalities and so on. I mean, a lot of people are anxious to proxy all the cards that they want right away and just start off at the top. There's a certain amount of fun to be built into it as you ramp up, as you make the deck more your own and more powerful, which I think is good.
And one last thing I want to leave people off with about the deck is it is not an easy deck to pilot. It's definitely one of those decks that you got to learn how to play the 5 color spells, the 5 mana Wooburg. You got to prioritize it's one of those decks you got to prioritize value over anything else, because this deck will give you lots of value if you play it right. And if it plays right for you, getting all your lands out, because like last night I had a game where I got land screwed. But that's very rare. Like I said, there's a 70% chance my land fixes itself really good. And this deck favors value over anything. And what value in this deck is graveyard recursion, getting stuff in the graveyard, controlling the board, and having fun. And yeah, it's like out of 1 out of 5, I say it's about a 3 for learning how to pilot the deck and getting a good game out of it.
Nice. Cool. Well, thank you again for joining me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the many times you had me on the show. Yeah. I appreciate you always sending me an invite. I can't always join, but I do every chance that I get, and I do enjoy it every time that I'm on there. And even if I could just stop in and give a like and a comment or two, I appreciate that. So.
I appreciate it too. I appreciate it a lot.
Thanks for joining me.
Awesome. You're amazing. And remember,
well, thank you.
Remember, it's Jurassic Park.
Indeed. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
So we'll catch you next time. I'd love to have you back. I do feel like we need to talk about building commander decks and stuff. We need to do that at some point too. But thank you for sharing this deck with me. And I better hit the end record button, because otherwise you and I will just go on talking for the rest of the day.
I know. It can go that way.
It can go that way. All right.